thanks will do so in kind. A little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP. Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria, Munson here, obscured by Bifanarama. Wow, this is going extremely well, Bifanarama. And there's a lovely connection in the chat already this morning between bananas and bifanas. So thank you very much for asking the question. Somebody had to. Thank you very much, Nom de Plume, Sarah. And good morning to you. Hola, bon dia, alegria, Munson here with a Good Morning Portugal live stream show and podcast, celebrating 1,000 podcast episodes here in my snug hoodie because it's Good morning, Portugal! Sunshine, pastel de natas, coffee, espumante, etc., etc. But the reality this morning, my friends, is that I've not even been out with the dogs this morning because it's peeing down here in San Martino de Porto. We won't let it put us off going out for the meetup between 1 and 3 today at the newly painted Palmera Cafe. Looking forward to seeing you later on, Nelson, and anyone else who wants to join us between 1 and 3 this afternoon. See you there. We're not going to let the rain stop that. But the truth is, well, and it's going to get worse in many ways, despite having is this a rainbow from Wales, where it looks, I think I'd rather be there this morning. What am I saying? What am I saying? Yes, we're going to go to the Serra da Estrela Mountains where there's a little bit of snow as well. Thank you so much, Martin, for sending in your pictures of. I honestly thought it was New Zealand, the pictures that he was sending me. It's the high point, of course, of Portugal, Serra da Estrela mountain range, and they were up there taking a look. What's this? Oh, okay. So you had a lovely. Simply wonderful, and only a couple of hours from the Silver Coast. That's Martin and Jojo's trip to the Serra da Estrela. Let's look at that now, shall we? And then it can only get warmer from there. Now, yeah, I really thought, they spent a bit of time in New Zealand as well. And I thought that these were pickies from a cold part of New Zealand. But look here. This is incredible, isn't it? There's, I'm guessing that it looks like there's Jojo, of course, but there's also, something that looks like an observatory or listening station or satellite tower from that Gloria series on the Netflix there. And look, we see here the sun and the snow. The sun beginning to defrost the encrusted snow on the GNR sign. Is that a GNR office then? It looks to me like that's seen better days, that listening post or whatever it is. But it does say on the side of it, isn't it? GNR property. This is fabulous. And the sun coming up, probably making it a little bit warmer there. Another view of it. Oh, that's a colder one. That's before the sun appeared, isn't it? My goodness. You can feel that. I can feel that. Sleety snow blowing across the top of the Serra da Estrela range there. A little bit more snow. Look, if you haven't been there yourself, you can say now you've seen snow in Portugal, right? How good are these pictures? Thank you, Martin and Jojo, so much for these. And there's the evidence, 1,950 meters of altitude there. And Jojo standing by 10 kilometers. What? 10 kilometers per hour, 10 kilometers until you see some Serra da Estrela beef. I'm not sure what that means there. And look, it's more snowy evidence there, and a meaningful looking pole. And I don't mean Lech Walesa. I mean that's some sort of significance, isn't it? When you see a yellow and black pole like that, I'm thinking that must be a high point or some way of measuring the altitude there. Superb. Thank you very much. We've seen it now. The snow at the Serra da Estrela mountaintop ridge there in Portugal. Fantastic. Apart from the barren windswept top, says Martin, the whole Serra is fabulously served by tiny twisty roads and fabulous rock forms, boulders and villages. Simply wonderful, and only a couple of hours from the Silver Coast. Isn't that wonderful? Thank you very much indeed. And that's the coldest I think it's going to get today, because we're heading towards the Algarve, celebrating today 1,000 podcast episodes. And I only really discovered that by chance whilst I was uploading the show yesterday into the podcast department. And it turns out it's Heather Binder, who was our fantastic guest yesterday, who was our 1,000th guest. celebrating 1,000 podcast episodes for you lovely people who listen over there on the podcast. Don't make a fuss. The children who are seen but they're not even seen, are they? The children who are barely heard, let alone seen and not heard. So not seen but they hear. There you go. They're not seen, but they hear the podcast. And thank you to each and every one of you for downloading and listening to the GMP podcast in the privacy of your own home, walking the street, on the bus, on the train. That would be lovely, actually. If anyone does want to break cover from the you wonder what I was going to say there, didn't you? If anybody does want to break cover from the podcasting environment and take a picture of their view whilst listening to the Good Morning Portugal podcast, it might be on a train, mightn't it? And what comes to mind for me is crossing the 25 de Abril Bridge in Lisbon whilst listening to music or a podcast and seeing that amazing view. It doesn't have to be an amazing view. If you would like to send a picture of a prosaic view of your living room, of a roaring fire in another cooler part of the world whilst you're listening to the podcast, I would love to see that. I really would. So thank you very much. Lech Wellinska. Somebody got that reference there. Thank you very much, Nom de Plume, for that. Significant polls, of course. Yes, if you could send the picture to carl@goodmorningportugal.com or even venture into this environment, who knows, a podcast listener might do that and share a picture with us on 913-590-303. Yes, Emma to join us then at 9 o'clock this morning, singing from the Algarve, live singing from the Algarve. This morning, and a video from Dougie from the Algarve too. Oh, more pictures from Martin. These are wonderful. Thank you very much. I'm not a god botherer, says Martin, but got to admit he didn't do a bad job. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? So there are more pictures to come from the Serra da Estrela. I think these are beautiful. May I put them in the Gumper Gallery, Martin? I'd love to do that if I may. So I'm going to. What I'll do is I'll come back to these tomorrow. Special show tomorrow as well, actually. We're going to be talking to Fab and Ian of, what's the name of their company? Lisboeta Studio Lisboeta in Lisbon, where they help people find homes in the Lisbon area. And we are doing the episode that we've been promising for a long time, the LGBTQ, I think. Anyway, you get the drift of that. We are doing the special for people in the LGBTQ community tomorrow, and what it's like to live in Portugal as a member of the LGBTQ. Is that right? Have I got that right? Even on my own slide there, Portugal. But you get the drift of what we'll be talking about tomorrow. Fabrizio and Ian returning on ND Portugal Thursday tomorrow. All right, looking forward to that. Yes, and I'm very taken by these photographs, Martin. Thank you so much. Really appreciate those. And you're right. The good Lord, the universe, or whatever, however you celebrate and acknowledge the creator of this wonderful existence in which we dwell. There's one such reference. I think Martin's right. He or she, they, get your pronouns right, did a good job, didn't they? Look at that. Absolutely beautiful. Did you motorcycle there as well, Martin? I guess that must have been quite a nice part of the journey as well, or the whole experience. Thank you very much. Cold bits of Portugal, and we'll be moving south. Who doesn't like to move south first thing in the morning? We'll be doing that with Emma, and a little bit of foreplay from Dougie as well before we truly get to the Algarve with a 2-minute taster. That sounds like Dougie, doesn't it? Does anyone else do a Dougie impersonation? Good morning, Portugal. Here's your 2-minute taster. You'll see if that's any good or not in a few moments after we've said hello to a few folks this morning. And namely, we will have Marcus, who's here this morning. We got James, we got Sarah, T-Duck, we got Jean, Cairo, good morning to you. Thank you for joining us, Cairo. Thank you for your congratulations about the 1000th podcast episode. Bairandi is here. It's the tour on the Gumper map. Yes, the tour of the Serra da Estrela. Yes, and a nice knowing wink from Andy there, knowing that he's put the tour as in tour of the Serra da Estrela on the Gumper map. Find that on our website, all the W's, goodmorningportugal.com. Bon dia a todos from a magical Bairrada this morning. Misty, is it? Is it misty? Where this morning, I like this little bit of alliteration. Our murmurings, mirth and merriment, and a little bit of mistiness from the Bairrada this morning. Where is Slugger James? Sarah's asking. He's here. That's no sooner did you ask than he appeared. And we can answer that question that you asked, which is a good one. Why does Slug call himself Slug? What's the backstory on that? That backstory had a wonderful resolution yesterday. Well, it's a continuing journey of a banana slug, but superb. I don't know why we didn't think of that when we were talking about it, T-Duck. But of course, before I show that particular picture that James sent in, I will give you the backstory on that, but not until we've said hello to a few more people this morning. Baddies in too, Stephen and Francis, thank you. Lurking and a working, no doubt. So let's go back to the beginning of these comments and welcome everybody properly. Bon dia alegria gumpers from the T-Duck at 8:10. What's your duck rating today, T-Duck? And a deep thought then. Let's just breathe out for a moment. Exciting, showing all these pictures and saying hello to everybody. Got a bit giddy this morning with the 1000th podcast episode. Deep thought then. Albert Einstein again this morning, who apparently was a really smart dude. Thank you very much for that. A clever person solves a problem. A wise person avoids it. Albert Einstein. For you there. Superb. Thank you very much. Remember that today and just say to somebody, say, if anyone's giving you any grief, I'm avoiding this situation. This is not a situation or a problem I wish to solve. I will simply be avoiding it in the Albert Einstein way. Went into Freud there, didn't it? At the end? Portuguese saying, depois, actually, did it go into Freud? Nobody really knows today, I suppose, how Albert Einstein or Sigmund Freud spoke. We just go into German, old German dude stereotype, don't we? Of course we do. Depois de Santos, neva nos campos. How very appropriate. After the Saints, snow in the fields. All Saints Day was November the 1st. So after the Saints, snow in the fields, especially in the Serra da Estrela. I think we need to put the right picture with that. So which is the best of these? There you go. After the Saints, snow in the fields, especially up there next to the notable pole. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, Mrs. M's here to join us as well this morning until Emma gets... Well, not just until Emma gets here. I imagine Mrs. M will stick around for a bit of live music. Circumstances allowing as well. No, she's nodding her head. She got stuff to do. Do you want to join us now, Mrs. M? Okay, just bring her onto the screen now.
It's a good job. I was happy with that. Good morning, everyone. How are you?
Look at us, snug hoodie in Studio 1.
No, it's.
And you. What?
I've got a shawl in this one.
I was going to say pashmina. Nice pashmina, Mrs. So, which sounds like a curry now,
haven't we?
What's going on?
It does. No, I would love to stay. I have no idea. I've completely rebooted. I'll come out again.
All right. Okay. No. You stay where you are. Let's see if this settles down. But yes, pashmina. I'll have the chicken and spinach pashmina, please, with I think some of that nice saffron rice and a nice pint of Cobra. Oh, stop it. Okay. Will Thompson also joining us. New location, new me. Hey, what's happening here? Has somebody hacked Will's ID?
All positive from now on. Let's have a jolly, fun fourth turning. What's going on? What is that? What is the fourth turning?
The fourth turning is what happens after the Industrial Revolution, as we move into a new era, even for the evolution of mankind. Well, without going to the dark side, what is the fourth turning? Go on, Mrs. M.
I want to ask, who calls it as that is the end of this era and this is the beginning of the next? I mean, I have this kind of debate with people that are talking about the age of Aquarius and when that starts. And I think all of these ages or times, they are disappearing and the new ones are reappearing and they're kind of coexisting at the same time, because you can't ever change everyone's perception in one go, can you?
God, look at you dropping the big questions. What's the question?
People get culture at a different rate and speed, don't they?
Yeah, well, I think historians, it's a bit like the old, the moment, the Van.
But good for you, Will, by the way. But sorry, go on, historians.
What's that moment I talk about in the First World War that was supposed to be the beginning of all the trouble? The somebody will tell me in just a moment. There's a particular moment where there was an assassination of a notable German, and that was supposed to be the trigger for the terrible events that led to the First World War and then, of course, the Second World War ultimately. But no one knew that until they looked back, did they? They didn't say, "Oh, this is it." And this is what, because we're brought up in a particular way in our Western civilization, if we can call it that sometimes, we think, don't we, that we could see in this moment, in this present time in history, what's going to be the big effect or influence of the future, which you can only tell in retrospect, I think, as we do with our own lives. We look back, don't we, to see when the pivotal moments were. The Archduke Ferdinand moment. Thank you very much. I knew it. Right on my wavelength there. Yeah, so the Archduke Ferdinand moments of this time or of our own lives can only really be understood by looking backwards, which, I mean, we don't want to do that, do we? We don't want to be stood here wasting this present moment looking backwards, maybe only just for fun.
I think it's useful to see where we might have made a mistake and to have to see that we've got the choice to be able to change it.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
you know, like going back over it and teaching it in schools and saying, this is how this is and this is how that is. That doesn't really make much sense to me.
Okay.
I like the cut of your jib, Will. We're doing the Age of
where we're going.
Independence.
Yes. So he
Well,
calls
you know
it.
what? Independence is also good. However, we're also learning about interdependence, because independent, like when I've gone independent, I've nearly always, wow, it's really tiring when you're doing it all on your own. You have to learn all your skills.
Yes.
You need to be able to fix a car and do. I think it's good to be more independent, definitely, and to be away from the governments as much as possible.
And this, my friends, is why we can't agree on when things happened or didn't happen, because as soon
I'm just an
as
opinionated
yeah, well,
person.
as soon as you ask who calls these things, Will says, "I do. I'm calling it. We're doing the Age of Independence now from government institutions." It does look like a lot of our institutions that we've grown up with are beginning
I'm
to.
kind of with him. I'm
And then you're
slightly there with
doubting
him.
him. You're calling it. No, it's not the Age of Independence. The Age of Independence, actually. So then when you scale that
No,
up
I
to,
didn't say that. I said for me, the Age of Independence wouldn't work.
okay, all right, fair enough. All right, Bondi. Sorry, I'm struggling. I'm not struggling with you or what you're saying. I'm struggling with the fact that you seem to be ahead of me. That now sometimes there's a delay, but it feels to me that you're actually in the future and you're answering me before I've even finished. That, which is freaking me out a little bit. Talking of timelines, have you done something to my software up here to make that happen?
Yeah, I drove off in my DeLorean earlier and came back about a few minutes ahead.
I knew it. Okay. Bon dia, you wonderful die.
She's later corrected herself.
Oh, okay. Bon dia, mi amigos. Oh, that's better. Thank you very much for that, St. Catherine. Hope you're well this morning. And I'm not independent. I'm not independent. I'm not independent. I'm not. It depends. I don't know what nom de plume is saying, but I suspect they might explain themselves there.
This is
Bob
great.
Wenger, check out. You're doing it again. You're responding to what I'm saying before I've even said it. This is really beginning to. Is this some sort of Mandela effect, or have we got a new name for this? The Walensky effect this morning. Please don't really freak me out by saying something now that you couldn't have possibly known that I'm going to be saying soon. That will be the future. Will be the past once I've said it, but is the future now, which you're already tuning into in this present. I think we need
that'd be really freaky, wouldn't it? I love Bob's comment. Thank you, Bob.
I think we need Albert Einstein here this morning. A tale of two timelines. Thank you very much for that. And let's have a look at Bob's view this morning. Thank you very much. I did ask people to send views, podcast listeners, but Bob's doing it anyway for the live stream. That's a lovely view this morning, isn't it? Through the round window this morning, or he has a porthole, ship's captain style, and there he is with his crew neck jumper on, like the ones I have. Smoking a pipe. His binoculars or his telescope, and he's looking out across the mountains this morning. I see no ships, only hardships. And then on the inside of that room, I can smell the sweat and the male hormones as we look at Bob's gym upstairs there with a nice cork floor as well. That's good, isn't it? If you do have to do some of those on your back turtling movements that the God Squad coach Turner suggests, that's a forgiving floor upon which to.
Yes, it is.
Has he got a bull worker there as well as some weights and a big ball? I think he has.
Oh,
And
what's the ball worker?
Oh, you won't remember that. I think a bull worker there was an advertising campaign from not that I remember it from the 50s or 60s, but there was an advertising campaign where there was a little guy who had sand kicked in his face on the beach. And to get beefy and to get his own back on the bullies, he used a bull worker, which many young men of the time, I think, subscribed to, fearing that scenario and wanting to take matters into their own hands. Thank you very much for the interior of your gym.
Wow.
Why is there a car jack there? Is that for when Bob can't get up and has to be winched up by Viv sometimes if his knee locks or something like that? What is that there? Anyway, I'm sure Bob can explain. You have truly, just like you did when you first arrived in my life, Mrs. M, you have truly broken my stride this morning. I don't know where I am. Are there any comments that you like the look of?
I'm trying not to do anything to, put you into your future. Temporary,
Wow.
like before time.
That's a good moment to come into the show.
Yeah. Well, there's lots of people talking about the weather, really, and diapers.
Of course.
But I haven't been trying to wrong foot you. I've been trying to just sort of be okay. I am very pleased though that you finally realised that I am a bit more advanced than you. It's taken all of 12 years for you to realise that. It was about time, wasn't it?
I didn't say that.
You said I was ahead of you.
That's a really nice reframe. I think.
Yeah, it's a good reframe.
I think this is a software-based thing, actually. All right, let me make and until you interrupt me again, let me make an efficient and orderly way through the comments.
Okay, but before you do that, I just wanted to say it just went 22222 and got 22 people watching live.
Oh,
anyway, anyway,
okay.
What I was going to say is I've got to be very conscious of leaving because I keep forgetting Minnie's music lesson. I don't want to miss it this week like I did last week.
What time does it start?
9:40.
If everyone could remind Mrs. M to leave at about 9:35 because of Minnie's music lesson, that'd be great. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Depois dos Santos, neve nos campos. You missed that earlier on. That's after the Saints, snow in the fields. And we had some lovely pictures from Martin and Jojo of the Serra da Estrela. You know you want to take the kids up to see the sun on the Serra da Estrela range. That's what they would see. It does look pretty amazing, doesn't it?
Wow.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean they're just really keen to see snow. I mean they have no real lasting memory of snow at all.
Look at that.
Wow.
Very beautiful. Fantastic. Okay, thank you very much, Martin, again for those. We are going to move from cold and wet to warm, and we're going to be singing. I want you to all sing along when Emma, I suspect, will be singing some classic tunes that we know and can join in with. So that to come after 9 o'clock, and we'll find out a bit about her and her life in the Algarve as well. Okay, so Hugununu, Lisbon's Vasco da Gama Bridge, is Europe's second longest bridge at 17.2 kilometers, nearly 11 miles long. It is one of only two bridges that cross the Tagus River. Now, named, of course, after this gentleman here. Who is that, Mrs. M? Trick question.
Vasco da Gama, maybe?
Yes. Very good. And here is a shot of that bridge as well. And now talking of history, he would have had no idea, will he? While he was just knocking about on the water, making boats, which I think some of the fleet of Vasco da Gama was made in San Martino de Porto here. He would have had no idea that one day a bridge and many, many streets in Portugal and many children would have been named after him. Isn't that an amazing thing? I wonder how much of his greatness he got to receive and understand in his own lifetime. But there you go. What he did in life echoes throughout eternity. That fantastic line from Gladiator. Okay, we are going to move on to some Slug Thug put it on a mug at quotes this morning, who says, Bom dia, Gumpers. Feliz a todos, como vão as coisas? How things going? Cue this. You are your own highest authority. Do not place your source of authority outside of you. Well, there's a fourth.
That's very good. I shouldn't slow myself down.
Is that what you're making of that?
Yeah, I shouldn't slow myself down to your backward thinking.
Oh, you're not letting it lie. Okay, I see what you did there. It's going to be a good day ahead. Your own highest authority. Do not
No, I
place.
do like that. I mean, I think that's in response to what Will was saying about
That's right.
he's going into the time of independence. I like that. I like that a lot.
Yeah, and placing the source of authority outside of you. It's going to be an exciting world when everyone starts doing that, I think.
Well,
But
I think there's almost like we need to be sovereign in ourselves. I think we need to trust ourselves and know that we can trust ourselves. I think that's a really important thing.
yeah,
I also think we need to know how to trust others
okay.
and how to resolve conflict that comes up, because I think as people start saying, hang on a sec, I'm in charge here, and everyone starts saying it, how do people meet in the middle? How do people co-create? How do people move forwards? It could be a massive breakdown before there's a breakthrough.
You're bringing some big issues with you this morning, aren't you? Is it you've got a transit in Uranus or something this morning?
Probably, most
It
probably.
sounds like it, Mrs. M, I got to say. Okay. But not Neil Donald Walsh. Never sure whether to call him Donald Neil Walsh or Neil Donald
Yeah,
Walsh.
I get
Neil
confused
Donald
with
Walsh.
that.
And this is the first part of something from him this morning. The second part of which is this: go within. Okay, let's do this justice. Let's start at the beginning. You are your own highest authority. Check. Do not place your source of authority outside of you. Check. Go within to see if the truth you found is in harmony with the truth you find in your heart. Well, that's good. That's the
I
check.
like that. Now that's
Yeah, yeah.
that's wise, isn't it?
It
That's
is.
real
It is.
wisdom.
Yeah, because we have done independent things in our lives, probably as younger people, and when we've looked inside to see if the truth we found is in harmony with our hearts, sometimes it always hasn't been. It's been more of a head move than a heart move. So
Yeah,
hopefully the fourth turning is more heart led as well.
I hope so. I mean, it's like that moment you have when you put up a status on Facebook or Twitter,
Yeah.
and you have this slight little feeling of apprehension, like, oh, what happens if this, you have this slight kind of instinct, maybe I shouldn't do it, maybe I shouldn't put it up,
Or maybe I
but
shouldn't
you
post
put it up
this, right?
anyway and then create a massive shitstorm. I
Yes.
think that's your heart talking to you, or your gut. It's
When did you last do that? Can I ask?
a really long time ago. You
Yeah.
like sending an email, there's been some emails that I've been about to send and then haven't.
Yes.
And so,
The
hang on, that's a bit better.
heart check is good. Before you
Because I
post
think,
that,
like when people are talking about, independence and everything, it brings up lots of very egoic ideas. And so it's really easy to be full of bluster and say, you don't tell me what to do. I mean, you see it with kids, don't you?
yes.
Like, I'm in charge of me, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
But I think the true independence is when you can feel it with your heart. And
Well
it's not
said.
something that's coming from your sort of like very Yang-like personality.
And posting up all those right-wing hate memes. Yes, definitely a good check and balance there. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
Slug, put it on a mug. And to answer
It's great what they're doing.
Cool. What?
It's great, all these lovely things that people are putting in the chat room. I love it.
It's every day. It happens every day. Yogi Berra quote of the day: if you don't know where you're going, you'll end up somewhere else. There's so much wisdom in here this morning, isn't there? I tell the kids, Yogi Berra says, somebody's got to win, somebody's got to lose. Just don't fight about it. Just try to get better. Oh my goodness, we're reaching peak wisdom, I think, this morning. And whilst you were talking about the heart and the head there, and how sometimes it's better to pause, I think is what you were saying, rather than just go with that. With the flaming reply or outburst on Twitter or email or anywhere like that, we could perhaps declare that this is, you said who decides this. Maybe Will's right. Maybe we just do it this morning. You see, you don't get this on the BBC or the mainstream media. Shall we declare the beginning of the fourth turning now?
Why not? Okay.
Okay. So we'll now go over to Mrs. M for this just in here on the 30th of November 2022. Apparently,
1 minute past 9. I'm going to look up the birth chart of this. I'm now calling this the what is it called? The new era of independence.
That was so professionally done. I'm about to declare. What is it called again? Somebody? Oh yes, the fourth turning.
It's called the "You're Not the Boss of Me" State of Independence. There we go. It's now here. It has arrived.
Excellent. Remember this, folks. I know it sounds light-hearted, But this could be it. This could be when you're talking to your grandchildren and they say, "What did you do in the fourth turning, grandma or granddad?" And you can say, "I was there. I remember the morning when it was declared on the Good Morning Portugal show." And not only was it declared on the Good Morning Portugal show, we sang and we danced in the company of Emma Belter Williamson.
Yeah!
Welcome to the fourth turning, Emma.
Amazing. I'm so honoured to be here in this new dimension. Look at us. Woo! I can feel it. I'm tingling all over. Honestly, this is us little people. Hi, darling. It's us little people that make the changes. This is where it starts.
Yeah,
I'm absolutely behind you on that. I love what you've just been talking about. It's right up my street. And I think Neil MacDonald Walsh, is it him that wrote Conversations with God? Yeah, I love that book. That was a great book. I think I've read 3 of them, I think. They're magic.
And you
I love what you're talking about. It's brilliant.
Emma, you've got amazing hair. I love it. How long did that take
Thank you. Do you know what, right? I'll give you a little secret, right? But only for you guys. Since we're in the fourth dimension, I'll give my secret away, right? All I do is wet my hair and then pleat it, plaits. One here, 2 here and 2 here, and then leave it to dry and take it out, and it just fluff it up and it's ready to go.
Do you think would I be able to do that?
Beautiful.
I'd like to see you try, Carol. That would be
maybe your chest hair.
Go.
Maybe your chest hair.
It could work for chest hair as well. All right, I'll try that tomorrow morning. And
I don't know if I'd like to see that as much, Mrs. M, to be honest with you. I don't know if I'm right into that.
Nobody should have to see that, especially first thing in the morning. Well, Emma, it's so fantastic that you're here. And
I'm really happy to be here.
You turned Neil Donald Walsh into a Scotsman by calling him Neil MacDonald Walsh. Very nicely done this morning. You yourself, of course, are from Scotland, if anyone's wondering. We have American friends tuning in. That, my friends, is a fine Scottish accent. Which part of Scotland are you from originally, Emma?
I'm from the East Coast, in Dundee, on the East Coast.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
East Coast of Scotland. But you're not joining us from there this morning. You've been in Portugal for a little while. Could you just give us a little bit of your backstory of how you got to be in Portugal and what you love about it so much?
Okay, briefly, I used to have my own radio show back in Scotland on a little station called, I did the drive time show Monday to Friday, 5 days a week on a station called Heartland FM. It was just a little community radio station, but it was magic. I loved it. Unfortunately, the radio station went bust, so I was kind of left like, what do I do now? So on the last week I was at the station, all my listeners, I got them to do a GoFundMe, and I bought a caravan, and I basically moved my whole life and my dog and my cat into the caravan. I left my house in Perth in Scotland and moved my life into a caravan and decided just to live on the road and make gigs. So I went from Scotland to Holland, Germany, France, Spain, Luxembourg, Spain, Portugal. Wow. The funny thing was that every place that I went to, somebody kept saying to me, everybody kept mentioning Portugal. Everybody I met mentions Portugal, and I should come down here, and the energy here and the people here, and there's a connection with Portugal and Scotland. And so I decided I wanted to be on the beach. For the first time in my life, I wanted to be in the sun for Christmas. So I made it to Seenage, and I had the Christmas on the beach with my dog and my cat, and it was actually magic. I know it sounds a bit lonely and sad, but it was actually magic.
No, it sounds
and
beautiful.
Then it was. And then I ended up coming down here and moving down to the Algarve, because opportunities for playing music really here. There's a lot more opportunities to make music down here, and of course it's warmer here. North of Portugal. I mean, I was in the north of Portugal in December when I was traveling, and there was ice. Well, here's the cat. Go and sit in front of the cat. Honestly, Carol. It's just been magic, and I really loved it. I really loved it here. I love the energy here. I love the people here, the way of life here. Obviously, the weather. I mean, right now my mum's watching right now back home, and she's great.
Hello, Mum.
She took the ice off her car at 5 o'clock last night. You know.
Oh, Mum, sorry to hear that.
Oh, I know, it's Baltic.
Yeah.
So we're super
Do you know
lucky.
what? When your cat walked past, we got a big heart like on the screen came up. We got
It's
cat
just
lovers
like
in the
Let the
in
cat
the
do the
chat room.
talking. Oh, she loves it. Beside me. I had a funny feeling she was going to do that at some point. She loves it. Whenever it happens every time. I'm sure she knows, and she just wants to be part of it all, don't you? I do. I love it.
There's a new filter on Zoom apparently that can take your cat off the picture, especially when it shows its bottom right up to the camera. So Zoom have done
that.
on that. Yeah, but cats always do that. As soon as a webinar or a cat, you're on your webcam, the cat appears and has to cross the keyboard, make the big keyboard crossing. Okay,
they want to be part of it.
They do. And what's your cat's name?
She's called Bluebell.
Bluebell. Okay, so what will happen? Does Bluebell like the music as well?
Yeah, she does. All the animals seem to really like it when you play music. It calms them down. I notice when I'm playing, the dogs will kind of all settle down and like have a little chill. Yeah, they do. They quite enjoy it.
Yes. The harmony of humans.
A
rare moment of harmony for humans, I suppose, and the animals. Superb. Yeah. Okay, let's go through a few more comments. And in Mrs. M, as you can hear this morning, is channeling some. Oh, and I've spelt Wednesday wrong. I see on my ticket tape. Anyway,
don't worry about that.
That's because we're in the new dimension. This is the way you spell it now.
That's the new spelling. That's the new spelling.
Oh, I see. Are we going to have new money and stamps and flags? Or are we not having flags anymore?
No, screw them. We don't need flags.
Flags are finished. Okay. And money, is that what we're doing for money?
We just do a barter system.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. I'm liking this so far. Fourth turn. Well done, Will. Will, a fellow Scot, I think will be the cockles of his heart will be warmed by hearing your Scottishness this morning, Emma. Let's see what else is going on in the chat then this morning, because we do have to explain why Slug Thug Put It on a Mug is called that. It's a long story, and we'll make it as short as possible.
Slug Thug Put It on a Mug.
Yeah, this is why does Slug call himself Slug? What's the backstory on that? Well, we do like to the Dr. Bayard lozenge on this show, which also needs a backstory. But anyway, I'm a fan of the Dr. Bayard lozenge, and we found a picture of a woman kind of manhandling the massive lozenge in its sort of original state before it's chopped into lots of little lozenges for individual wrapping. James was watching that show and thought it looked like a banana slug, obviously. And fast forward to today, that's what he calls himself. It's also, I think, the mascot of his university in Santa Cruz there. So he started to call himself
a slug.
Yeah, it's not.
Mascot. That's a strange mascot, isn't it?
That is.
You're right. Someone had to say it, Emma. You're absolutely right.
Has it got a superpower of some sort? Is that what? I mean, surely it must, because it's got some sort of superpower. What superpower do slugs have?
James, over to you on that. I don't know. But we're bringing us right up to yesterday, right up to date into the fourth turning. You end up with Bifana Slug, you see, because you're not a fan.
Okay. First of all, I did the little Billy Poppers. Just kind of slimy stuff. Okay. Oh yeah.
With some nice mustard slime there. So there he is. He identifies as a slug. And that is the backstory on that nom de plume, Sarah. And he is here. Where is Slugger James? He's right with us. Hola, Tonino, from for you as well. You're working in the room this morning, nom de plume, aren't you? Jean's here as well. So lots of people here to hear you sing this morning, Emma. Cool. Andy in the Bairrada as well. Marcus is here. And Cairo are here too. The wonderful Egyptian restaurant in Caldas Terrenia. Good morning to you, Carl. Those facilities on the top of the Serra de Estrela belong to the Air Force. I think it was a radar. They preview there might be some snow falling. Oh, okay. The news is that there might be
snowfall in Serra de Estrela. Wow.
Yeah, we had some lovely chickies. This is what's going on up there, Emma. Wow. Look at that. That's
wow.
Portugal. That is, it looks like Scotland.
I know. It does look like Scotland. That's mad.
Isn't it great? And that's
but look how blue the sky is, though.
So really clear and so lovely.
Yeah, nice and crisp.
That does look.
I want to rent an Airbnb for a little bit up there.
That would be romantic.
Someone with a nice fire where we can.
Yeah, that would be romantic, Mrs. M. Yeah, cozy little getaway.
Why doesn't the Portuguese government make that an Airbnb?
Well, that looks a little bit too cold for me. I want a little place nestled somewhere.
Yes. Okay.
She goes again.
Somewhere. Oh, Bluebell. Show us your bottom.
Oh, okay. All right.
Show us your bottom.
The tea towel holder. Where's the tea towel holder? Okay, smash that like button, says T-Duck, who's feeling 100% this morning. He's got some lead in his pencil. Look at that. Superb.
Got a pencil full of lead. There's a song like that. There's a song called Pencil Full of Lead by Paolo Nutini.
That is right. Yeah.
There is.
Yeah. December the 1st, restoration of Independence Day. Portugal regained its independence on December the 1st, 1640, after 60 years of the Iberian Union. Get back to Spain, you lot. Yes, well done. We can celebrate that tomorrow. Me too. What's this? I joined the after show.
Me too. I joined the after show from my bed.
Bit intimate, isn't it? Cairo. No, Cairo as in Egypt, not chiropractor. Well, that's quite a good name for a chiropractic.
Like an Egyptian chiropractic.
Cairo, there you go. Bon dia,
he's in denial.
Very nice.
No, Emma.
So we're doing mum jokes today.
Come on.
No more dad jokes. It's mum jokes now.
Okay.
I like this comment from lovely Victoria Benson down in the Algarve. She said, I saw Emma at Feedback earlier this year. I think she was singing with her son's band. Was awesome. There you go.
I love that, my son's band. Well, it was actually the two of us together. We sang together all summer, the two of us, and then we got ourselves a band as well, which was brilliant fun playing with the band. So much fun, and really good for Josh, because Josh hasn't really done a lot of singing with the band. It's really just by himself or with me. So his confidence came on a lot. But yeah, it was a great summer for playing. I
want to ask you if Carl doesn't mind just stepping away from the chat room for a bit. I want to ask you, how do you get?
Sorry, I meant to.
How do you start like bringing music into the family? Because, you know, we came over here and one of the things, hey, where's he gone? Come back. I want you to hear this. It's important. I might need your help. When we left the UK, we had this guitar and no one could play it. And I always said, I'm going to learn to play it. And of course, I've had two small kids. We've since had a third one and also have my business and, you know, we're really busy, you know. But there is always time to get music in, and I really wanted to be able to play this guitar because one of our famous friends had tuned it and said it was an amazing guitar. Anyway, it came around with us for 4.5 years before finally we said, okay, we keep giving this guitar so much space in our car every time we move, and so we donated it to somebody. We've had recorders, we've got two what are they called, ukuleles.
Yeah,
and not a single person can show any interest in music. How do you get there? Like, we all love music, we all sing to it and dance and fool around and stuff, but no one's really playing anything. And I'd really like to have that.
It's a dedication, isn't it? I mean, like even myself, I'm a musician, and like you really need to dedicate yourself to practicing every day for an hour. I mean, that's like been like that since I was at music college. That's how I ended up starting off. I was at music college when my son was 5. So and I had musicians around me all the time, so they were teaching him. So, but really, it's the dedication of having to sit down and do the practice. Practicing is so boring, and you've got to do the same thing over and over, and it's relentless. Yeah. But the only way to get better is to practice, and that's the thing. You have to really have that passion. Even if you think to yourself, I just want to learn one song, so that I can play one song at a party. Or you guys can also play together one song that you all like, and then you sit down and you dedicate an hour or even half an hour to just playing together for that one song. And it's boring, but you'll start to see progress if you do it regularly. Yeah. But it's really just the practice. I mean, people say, oh, you're so talented, it's such a gift. It's not, it's practice.
It's a lot of hard work.
You just have to do it. It's the dedication of actually, I mean, this summer, right, I've been playing with Josh, my son, as a duo, and he's been playing the guitar mostly, and I've been playing the cajon and doing all the harmonies, all the singing. We've been singing together, but I do all the harmonies, playing like maybe 2 or 3 songs on the guitar. And how bad my guitar playing has got because I haven't been playing so much and not practicing. I mean, it really deteriorates really quickly. So I've had to dedicate myself. Like Josh is off traveling for the winter. He's away building mud huts.
How cool!
He's a belter. I love him. So Yeah, so now I'm back to playing solo again, but haven't actually sit and dedicate time practicing again. It's like, oh, you know, that little voice in your head's like, you should be practicing. You should be practicing. Oh, I've got to take the dog out, or I've got to take that stuff to the research. You know, all the jobs you don't want to do, you end up doing because you know you should be practicing. It is really that.
There you go, Mrs.
Okay.
So,
Not going to happen then, is it, love?
She's waiting to do it again. She's coming again.
Hello.
Oh, Bluebell. I just
want
to give her a little stroke.
Yeah.
I just want to give her a stroke.
So
She's
basically, we'll end up still having the biggest collection of paperweights in Portugal with all these musical instruments that no one uses in the house. Okay, fair enough. Or we could stick them on LG or eBay or something like that.
Did that help at all? That advice?
It's just helped me realise it's never going to happen. I need to be realistic. No, I actually think the only person that wants to play an instrument is me. And probably when we come out of the active child phase, and we're a little bit more stable, I suspect I'll just have music lessons myself.
Come down here and hang out with me in the caravan, and I'll give you some guitar lessons. And we can make some music together. We'll get a band together. We'll call it the Fourth Dimension Sisters or something like that. Right? We'll be right about it.
You might need to teach me to sing first.
Amazing! That another key part of this revolution has been devised. This
the sisterhood. There's probably quite a few people here in the chat room that play as well.
We can have a
she's so gorgeous.
Keep your bum out of the car. Would you mind? She's doing it on purpose now, I'm sure of it.
Yes, she is.
On purpose. You know she is. That's what cats do, isn't it? Bless them. Superb. Okay. All right. We need to cover a few more hellos this morning as well, just to make sure everyone's welcomed in before we gather around and listen to the incredible talent of Emma. And I'll be putting a PayPal.
Don't put me up too much. Bloody hell.
Sorry. She's all right. She's quite good. And I'll be putting a PayPal link so you can buy her a drink today as well.
Yeah.
So some whiskey in that cup that she's just had a sip out of. This is cheerful. Archduke Ferdinand was murdered in Sarajevo, Bosnia, on June the 28th, 1914. He was the heir of the throne of Austria-Hungary, and that's how it all kicked off, apparently, the First World War. And yeah, James, naming the age is essentially retrospective and does indeed always involve a transition. And that is what we're right in the middle of this morning, the fourth turning, thanks to Will, and thanks to the fourth, what are you calling yourselves? The Fourth Dimension Sisters that you can see on the screen here. Hola, bon dia, kids, from a gorgeous sunny Portimao this morning. Good morning.
Lovely.
Things are warming up. We started in the Serra da Estrela. Things are warming up in the Algarve now. And they will get, yes, you're going to be pushing the furniture back and dancing in your living rooms or wherever you are listening to the show this morning a little bit later on as well. Clouds are set to roll in later. Enjoy the music. Dance on your balcony, if you will, please, Victoria. Late on parade this morning, Ian Turner, only just woken after a bad night's sleep. Sorry to hear that. Anyway, happy Quarta-feira. Happy Quarta-feira. Thank you very much for that. And the turtle moves done. Yes, a bull worker that was. Cold up here, though, so no sweat in the gym of... It's funny, isn't it, when you don't get the context of these comments. Nice one, though, Bob. And your God Squad tip of the day there. So you could do this when Emma is playing. You can have a bit of rhythm with it as well. Last of the hip-raising exercises today. Talk about hip-raising. Emma Belter is here to do that with us. A little bit of hip-raising and foot tapping. Who doesn't like lying on your back? Place your feet on a step or low chair. Now lift your hips for 10 seconds. And 10 reps of that. And I think you should have a cheeky smile on your face while you're doing that one and wink at anybody who walks past. I think, yeah, a little cheeky wink at any passers-by with that one. Thank you, Coach Turner, for that one.
Mrs. M's demonstrating the wink there. I know I caught that.
Yeah, I've got to be really careful because as I did that, I thought I looked like that awful woman that used to do that quiz show, that like sneering woman.
Anne Robinson.
Oh yes, I kind of did it, and as I winked, I thought, "Oh no!" She's horrible.
She's not coming in. She's not coming out in the next dimension. She's not allowed in. She's going in room 101. See you later.
So. Yeah,
oh, come on, don't be like that. We're not going to be beheading him now.
Okay, I won't be like that. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I retract that statement.
Peace and love. Okay, Is that
That's
look,
nice.
I do the astrology jokes around here. Thank you very much.
All right.
Robin, no. So I was talking to Coach Turner there. He's trying to.
She's coming to get. She's going to get.
Here she comes.
Oh, lovely bluebell.
Oh, look, there you go. There's my tea towel. Right. Robin Fisher is here as well. Good morning.
Oh, Robin, she's in Australia.
Really? This is good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 11 o'clock there.
Yeah, it must be. It's later on, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah.
Because
Hi,
I'm normally up at 6 on a Wednesday having a chat with somebody in Bali, and it's like almost 2 o'clock over there at that time.
Oh.
Bless her. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Robin, for that. Neil McDonald will love it. And it's you get this.
I knew she was going to do that.
Oh, come on!
I knew she was going to do that.
Oh, she's so lovely.
Come on, move
it. She'll be back. You must get this wherever you go, Emma. It's a brabrich moonlicht nicht tonight, you can.
Oh, aye, it's not. Well, it's the afternoon. It's the morning. Sorry, but it's no brabrich moonlicht. It's a broad sunny day. The day.
Yeah,
but that's a proper Scottish saying, that one.
It is,
and very well spelled as well. Look at that. You've got all the *** on there. Beautifully done.
You have to wipe your screen after saying that. And that is the view. That is the
wipe
view.
Your screen after saying that.
Who's that little doggy then?
Oh, where is that? Scotland.
No, southern United States. So Australia in the house.
But he was that little doggy was wearing a bit of tartan. I did notice, which was very sweet. It's really funny that it's a Scottish theme because and a music theme, because immediately after this, Minnie's got her music lesson. And then I've got a session with my good friend Rob, who's right at the top of Scotland. So yeah, it's a very Scottish theme today. I love it.
Yes.
Well, I've actually got a couple of Scottish songs I'm going to do for you. Yeah, because I was trying to figure out what to do, and I didn't want to do anything too kind of in your face first thing in the morning, like wah. So I thought I'd keep it nice and kind of light. So yeah, I've got a wee reggae song and a couple of wee Scottish songs for you. So
we've got themes of Scotland, musical families or not, independence and cats. Don't know if you can pull those together.
And the new dimension. We've got it all.
Yeah, and the new dimension, of course. Yeah.
Careful, calm down, everyone. We're going to break the internet at this rate. Okay. Didn't wonder that. What a great accent. I think my YouTube is broken. That was meant to be a Scottish flag. Well, thank you very much for that, Francis. Very good. But we are having a network all over the world, haven't we? Australia, Scotland. I've been to Perth. I've been to
nice.
Perth as well. Maybe not a question right now. Does Emma support a state of independence? Can you sing?
Do we want to get into that? Didn't get me started about that. Honestly, I'll start ranting my head off.
Are you referencing the Donna Summer song?
No, sadly not. Sadly not. Okay. If you want a sun at Christmas, just head south of the equator. Yep. Okay. Your Christmas on the beach sounds lovely, though. And that for you then, Emma, was that the moment when you thought, yeah, this is it. I am in the right place now. All those people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, really. And it was mad walking down the beach on Christmas morning and, in my shorts and T-shirt in Scotland. You walked outside in your shorts and T-shirt, you'd be dead in 20 minutes.
Hello, Emma from Victoria as well. Oh, my cats love music, especially singing, so they're in for a treat.
Well, hopefully they'll love what I do today and they won't run off. Here she comes. Look, just speak of the cat.
She keeps doing it.
Right on cue. You're funny. You're funny.
Is this one of your venues, regular venues then, Emma? Because people want to know. Okay, Feedback is the name of a venue in the Algarve, in Portugal?
Yes, it's in Alcantarilla Gar.
Okay, super.
But now it's different now. It's different people own it now, so it's not got the same. We don't play there so much these days. Of course, winter's here now as well, so everything changes. Everything's a bit seasonal, isn't it, in the Algarve?
Yeah, true. How is it? It's got a bit quiet now, isn't it? So when do you expect things to pick up again?
It's not so much quiet. I mean, I suppose it is quieter, definitely, because there's not so many tourists. But I'm still playing. I've still got gigs coming along, which is lovely. Different places as well, because some places open for winter now, don't they? Whereas other places close for winter.
Okay.
So yeah, and so I've still got work coming through, which is great. I mean, if I can do 1 or 2 concerts a week, it keeps me going, keeps me out of trouble, you know.
Good. All right. Well, we're hoping to have you back for a bit of a Christmas shindig.
Oh God, does that mean I've got to sing Christmas songs?
No, we don't have to. You do what you like. You do what you like.
Oh fuck! Maybe I'll throw in one. I can maybe go. The thing is about Christmas songs, right? Is that it's all fine and dandy if you're playing them at the gig, but you've actually got to do the practice. So it means I've got to spend, you know, a substantial amount of hours on my own in the caravan singing Santa Claus is coming to town or whatever else. And that's the boredom. Oh God, Christmas practicing's hard enough without having to sing Christmas songs relentlessly for like a month.
We
but
won't
since it's you guys.
No, we won't put you through that. The good news, of course, that we're hearing is that we don't really talk about Christmas until December the 1st, which is, of course, tomorrow. And Mariah Carey
oh God, she's coming out. Put her back in! For God's sake, shove her back!
No, it's not a washing machine. It's the MRI scan to prove that she's really It is the MRI.
I can hear the ching, ching, ching. You know the Christmas bells? I can hear them already.
All right. Let's not till tomorrow,
oh my
Mariah. Stay where you are. Okay. And, okay, just one more quickie.
It's now the time of Feliz Navidad. Everywhere you go.
Oh, it is, isn't
it? I quite like that one, actually, Feliz Navidad.
Yeah, because he wrote that in the summer. He wrote that in the summer in LA. I found out our music quiz last week. Jose Feliciano. Okay, just finally then in the comments, because let's hear you. That's what you came here for, Emma. People are called to music. You can't force it. But lots of Americans start homeschoolers off with a violin. Why do parents do that? Why the recorder and the violin? Why not the ukulele? Something a little bit more tuneful. It's funny, isn't it? That
I think maybe they want to torture themselves. I remember playing violin, I think at 8 years old, and going into my granddad's bedroom at Saturday morning at like 8:30 in the morning, going, "Granddad, listen to me play," and he's lying in bed going. I mean, it was like someone strangling a cat, and he's going, "Oh, darling," he's such a lovely man. "Oh, darling, that's beautiful." And it's like, can you imagine a child coming in? Well, you've got kids, so you know what it's like. Yeah. Sing in the morning. Poor man. Oh, I never kept up with that. No, I never kept up with the violin.
Okay,
that's why the recorders didn't come to Portugal with us. Like I had a 5 and 2 recorders, and I was starting to teach the big one, and this is obviously 5 years ago, so he was really small, like how to play different Christmas songs. It's really intuitive, actually, if you can get a sound out of it, which he managed to do. But because it sounds so like unpleasant, I was like, he just gave them away, like almost threw them in the bin.
I know. I would like to think there is a busker now in Devon making a living from those recordings. Anyway, the lovely cat, mother of my two. Is Bluebell mummy then of Chrissy's cats here?
Yeah.
Oh, how lovely. Good morning from Chrissy. How do we say Chrissy? Is that a Scottish name?
Chrissy. No, they're Dutch, but they've lived in Scotland. They lived in Scotland for a few years, actually.
Morning to you, Chrissy, as well.
Oh, hi, Chrissy. Oh, that's lovely. Lots of people tuning in from for friends of mine. That's nice. Exciting.
Beautiful. Thank you for bringing.
I'm afraid I'm going to have to leave and make sure our daughter gets her music lesson in time.
Bluebell's back. Okay, all right. So maybe.
So I'm going to have this playing on in the background so I can hear. But it's so nice to meet you, Emma.
You too, darling. Lovely to meet you.
I will do something groovy with my hair next time.
Jam. Come and have a guitar lesson. Come down and we'll make some music. You fancy a wee lesson?
I'd love that. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, darling.
Thank you very much, Mrs. M.
Ciao, everyone.
All right, ciao. Okay. Thank you so much for being here this morning. Over to you then for a couple of tunes, if you don't mind. We're celebrating.
Do you want me to play like 2 tunes on the go, like one after the other?
Yeah, and I'll give you the screen. I'm not going anywhere, but you should have the full glory of the whole screen and Bluebell as well, of course. So over to you. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, okay, look at that. It's just me now. So I thought I'd start off with a little reggae song because, I'll bring some Portuguese sunshine into everyone's life. I hope you can all hear it all right. I woke up this morning, smile with the rays of the sun. 3 little birds sat on my doorstep, singing sweet songs, melodies pure and true, singing this is my best to you. Singing, don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Singing, don't worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing gonna be alright. Here's a little song I wrote. You might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. 'Cause in your life you have some trouble. When you worry, gonna make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Do 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 do. Don't you worry, be happy. Do 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 do. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style, ain't got no boy to make you smile. Don't worry, be happy. The landlord say your rent is late, he may have to litigate. Don't worry, be happy. Woo! Be happy now. Do 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 do. Don't you worry, be happy. Do 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 do. Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed. Don't worry, be happy. 'Cause when you worry, your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. So don't worry, be happy. Woo! Be happy. Do 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 do. Don't you worry, be happy. Do 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 do. I woke up this morning, smiled at the rising sun. 3 little birds sat on my doorstep, singing sweet songs. All those melodies pure and true. Singing, this is my message to you. Sing it. Singing, don't worry about a thing. Singing makes you feel good, huh? 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Singing, don't you worry about a thing. 'Cause every little thing is gonna be alright. Alright. So weird singing to myself, really, looking at my big head, my big daft head.
Emma, the screen is all yours. That's why. Amazing, amazing. Do carry on. Sorry, I don't want to disturb your flow.
Okay. So I'm going to do a lovely wee Scottish song for you now. This is a wee romantic Scottish song called Wild Mountain Thyme. Now, I thought I'd sing this one because it reminds us of the summer and it'll bring some sunshine into our hearts. So, yeah, here we go. Be helpful if you're in the right key, Emma. Aye, right, you got it now? Aye. That one. Oh, the summertime has come, and the trees are sweetly blooming, and the wild blooming heather, will you go, lassie, go? We'll all go together to the wild mountain tide, all around the blooming heather, will you go, lassie, go? I will build my love a bower by yon cool crystal fountain, and around it I will pile all the wild flowers on the mountain. Will you go, lassie, go? And we'll all go together to the wild mountain side, all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? If my true love you'll not come, then I'll surely find another to the wild mountain side, all around the blooming heather. Will you go, say go? And we'll all go together to the wild mountain tide, all around the blooming heather. Will you go, lassie, go? Will you go, lassie, go? Will you go, lassie, go?
Oh, Emma.
Did you hear that all right?
Oh, absolutely. And you
Okay.
changed Colin's day here. Look, thank you. Wild Mountain Time, my favourite ever folk song. That was so beautiful.
It was. I'm not used to singing this early in the morning, Carol, to be honest with you. Usually it's
what?
late at night.
I was just thinking that, and what an amazing how you can move people in the way you do. I cried during that one, and in the first.
Oh, did you? Oh, bless you.
You mixed it up with the first tune with Bobby McFerrin and Bob Marley, the two Bobs there, right? In one tune, absolutely. And as you say, at 20 to 10 in the morning, how you can just do that? How you can go?
Well, to be honest, I think I've definitely sang it better when my voice is more free. It's a little bit trickier in the morning. I did do a wee warm up, but yeah, it's kind of getting the engines going. You know what I mean?
People are loving
it. Thank you.
Let's have a look at a few words that are coming in.
There's my soul of ancestors. So that's beautiful.
Look
at your comment.
Very, very moving. Love your Scottish accent, Emma, and also the music, which is enhanced by the way you sing it, of course. Brilliant.
Thanks,
There's Robin this
Thanks,
morning.
Robin.
Fine.
Robin's Scottish, I think.
Okay, a fine accent. Our son lives in Kilmarnock. It took us a while to adjust to the Scottish lilt. It's lovely.
Kilmarnock!
And you're amazing singing so early as well, says Robin this morning. Uncle Krusty's here as well. Bon dia, Carl, Louisa, Emma, and the Gumper Gang feeling Bonnie and Irie. That's a nice combination, isn't it? Bonnie and Irie. Obrigado for warming our hearts with music on this show.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah, Colin, delighted. Incredible, says Francis. Love it. Well done.
Thanks, Francis.
Buddy. Dave, hello, Dave. Great start for the day.
Oh, hiya, Dave.
Mustafa Sifisi, good morning. Great show this morning, guys, from Dave and Debbie. Early podcast listeners as we celebrate 1,000 podcast episodes. Brilliant, Emma.
Yeah, I saw that yesterday. 1,000. That's a lot of bloody time on air.
Podcasting, isn't it?
That's like, what, 3 years, is it? 3 years.
Oh, it goes back to 2017. It goes back to
yeah.
And you've been on some of been on some of the earlier ones, of course. You know, this isn't the first time you've been singing with us. You were with Josh last time, of course. But yeah, you've been part of this whole journey of the podcasting for sure. Shared to the JTJ bar. What's that then? Is that going out on someone else's Facebook?
Jim Najani. It's a guy, right? There's a little bit of a story, right? There's a guy from Dundee during lockdown. This guy from Dundee who was actually a janitor at the local school, and we call him a Janny. That's the slang word in Dundee for a janitor, right? And so basically, he started this bar, like a page.
Yeah.
And it's got thousands and thousands of people now on there, all over the world, and it became this community over lockdown.
Yeah.
A real community. Like one guy even said that if it wasn't for the place, he was feeling suicidal, and it was actually that collective of people that kept him going.
Wow.
And there was some musicians played on there as well, did live feeds really regularly, and it became this massive thing. So yeah, and it was a real support system for a lot of people through lockdown, you know.
There you go. You've been shared there this morning. That's wonderful. And please do, if you've been moved as I have this morning, do think about buying Emma. Don't think about it. Do it. PayPal.me/Emma Belter. And this is how Emma, of course, makes her living as well. So do
keeps
please
me going through the winter, Carol.
Yes, please get another log on the fire. Send some cash to Emma there. PayPal.me/Emma Belter. What else have we got? As well as being shared to the JTJ bar there. I take this lady over Mariah anytime, says Frank. Rock and roll. Loving the show this morning.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate that.
He's in Portimao, just up the road as well.
Just up the road.
I love the concert, Emma. Brilliant. And
thank you, Vicky.
Reggae in the shower. Look at him. He's skanking in the shower this morning, Coach Turner.
Fucking like to it, but I've got a funny image in my head. I'm not going to tell you right now.
No pictures. Okay. All right, send pictures.
Skanking in the shower is a better way to put it, Carol. I think that's the best way.
Great. Okay. Great start to the morning. Thanks, Emma, from Coach Turner. You enjoy yourself in the shower there.
Brilliant.
And furthermore, that theme has stirred with our Portuguese Celtic roots. It did.
Oh, wonderful.
Now, there's a thing, right? Because you've got that Celtic line, haven't you, coming down from Scotland and a bit of England, Wales, of course, France, Spain, and Portugal.
I mean, I was flabbergasted when I came to North Portugal and saw bagpipes. I couldn't believe it. It was like, where are you guys getting bagpipes from? And they're smaller bagpipes. They're kind of traditional. They're almost like the Highland bagpipes, which are quite small.
Yeah.
But, you know, they weren't used to kind of go into battle with this big noise. They were more for folk music, and they were beautiful sounding. Like they were softer, much softer.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, where are you getting these from? Portuguese bagpipes? And that's when I realised there is a deep connection from the Celt. Yeah. With the Portuguese, so you know I do feel a bit at home here, and actually the Portuguese have got that. They're quite friendly people, aren't they? And they're quite inquisitive, and the Scottish are like that. You know, the Scottish have got a reputation of being quite friendly people. Yep. So I think that's why we kind of get on quite well. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah, there's that too. And that lovely connection and friendliness with the English as well. It's all there. Okay.
It's getting there, Carol. We're building it. You know.
You're amazing. Thank you for the wonderful music. And Dave,
thank you.
I think the Scottish flag comes out as one of these, but we'll take it anyway, Dave.
Ah, okay.
In this morning, Dave. Emma, have you got? Will you do one more?
I've got one more. Another wee Scottish one. Is that all right? Or have you been Scottish
It's absolutely fantastic by us.
We'll do the Caledonia. My mum will be greeting. My mum loves this one. She'll have a wee beer.
All right, me too. I'll get myself out here. All right, over to
you. Ready? Okay. This is a Dougie MacLean song. Well, I don't know if you can see the changes that have come over me. Well, these last few days, I've been afraid that I might drift away. I've been telling old stories, singing old songs that make me think about where I came from, and that's the reason reason why I seem so far away today. Oh, there we go. Found it eventually. So let me tell you that I love you. I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. 'Cause Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Yeah, I have moved, and kept on moving. I proved the points that I needed proving. I lost some friends that I needed losing. Found others on the way. I have kissed the boys and left them crying. I've stolen dreams, yeah, there's no denying. I've travelled hard with my coattails flying, far along the way. So let me tell you that I love you. I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. And if I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Here, you know what? I've just thought of something. I'm sure it's St Andrew's Day in Scotland today. I'm sure it is the 30th. Is it the 30th today? I'm sure it is. Yeah, you can Google that. Check it out. I'm sure it is. It just came to me. I'm sitting here before the fire, the empty room, the forest quiet. The flames have cooled, couldn't get any higher. They've withered, now they've gone. Whee! Off they go. Poof! I'm steady thinking. My way is clear. I know not what I will do tomorrow. When the hands have shaken and the kisses exchanged, then I will disappear. So let me tell you that I love you, that I think about you all the time. Caledonia, you're calling me. Now I'm going home. If I should become a stranger, know that it would make me more than sad. 'Cause Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. Caledonia's been everything I've ever had. There we go.
Woo-hoo! Oh my! Wow!
We're gonna get to that.
Wonderful, and you're absolutely right. What a wonderful, fitting song to play on St Andrew's Day. Yeah, 30th of November, St Andrew's Day in Scotland, and a holiday in Portugal tomorrow. Thank you so much. Totally in holiday spirit. Today we're Scottish, aren't we? Celebrating St Andrew's Day, having a wee dram, and maybe we'll do again tomorrow for the restoration of Portugal holiday tomorrow on the 1st of December as well. Emma, thank you so much. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. It's been a blast. You've got brilliant. You've got such a good energy on your show. Really, it's always a laugh, and it's a lovely way to start the day, isn't it? Like I'm all buzzing now.
Well, I hope so. I hope so, and I hope you join us for a little bit of a Christmas gig as well as we get properly into.
We can
Christmas.
do that definitely. We can.
Yeah, I think we've got a couple more questions. Don't go just yet because we've got people with more compliments and comments for you. Pete was asking about Josh. I can't see the question anymore, but Josh may come back with you when still traveling with your son. I think it's Josh that's off doing the traveling, right?
We're settled here in Portugal just now.
Yeah.
Josh is off doing some stuff for the winter. He's actually building a house out of mud, clay.
Like you do.
He loves getting his hands dirty, Josh, and he likes digging holes as well. He's quite a physical person. So he's off until next year doing that, and then we're going to start the season again. We're going to play again as the Belters for the season again. So, and actually he's got a piano now. He started playing the piano. So we're going to have the piano as part of the act next year too. So the guitar and the piano, that'll be nice. A different kind of setup completely.
Okay, so brand new 2023. Remember where you heard it first? I travelled twice to Scotland, says João F. One of our Portuguese pals here. Hired a car and went all from Glasgow to Inverness, stopping in every little town along the way. It felt so
lovely.
So there's that.
You've obviously been there before.
Yeah, maybe, João F. Half an hour after entering any pub, I had already been invited to drink a pint of beer and had been told who was born, who died, and who got married. Yeah, life.
That sounds like Scotland to me. That's just like Portugal, though. It's exactly what it's like.
You're absolutely right. Local village gossip is the same as Portugal.
It was Portugal, yeah. It's so true. Oh, that's wonderful, João.
And thank you, Emma. Pleasure listening to you. Thanks. Good morning, Portugal. Much love from Melbourne, Australia. That's so great, isn't it?
Robin, thanks for joining, darling. It's lovely to see you again. So nice to see your name up there. Thank you for coming along. Yeah, staying up late to watch me.
And everyone who's here this morning, do please buy Emma a drink, paypal.me/Emma Belter. And I know people, most of the people who listen from America, North America, Canada later on today will do the same as well, Emma, on the PayPal
link. Thank you so much. It's amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate you singing and launching the fourth turning officially with us. People will remember this day in history, of course, forever.
We've done it. We're right at it now. That's it. Here we go.
I didn't know we were going to do it. It just felt right, didn't it, to do it this morning? Okay. All right. Well, all the best to you. Our love to everybody in the Algarve and that lovely bluebell cat of yours. Take care and bye for now. See you soon. Ciao, ciao. Bye-bye. There you go. How wonderful. Oh, superb. I didn't want to say goodbye there. But there comes a point, doesn't there, where you have to say goodbye. But she's going to be back again with Josh, it sounds like, for a Christmas gig. Later on. I'll leave that link there so that you can buy Emma a drink and get another log on the fire down there in the Algarve because it gets chilly and down there sometimes too. St. Andrew's Day, we've got a few more comments and a few chats and a lovely video, one of Dougie's 2-minute tasters. St. Andrew's Day today, of course, and the Tomato Festival. No, the Tamar Festival. Matty, good morning to you, Matty. Looking forward to the Festival of the Trays. And I guess one really good way of summing it up, Pete, is yes, who doesn't like women carrying their own height in bread? That's what you will see in 2023, I believe, because of the way the pandemic has affected things. I think it's once every 3 or 4 years, a bit like the Olympics or the World Cup. Did somebody say World Cup? Well done, England, last night. That was a good second half, wasn't it? Boring as normal in the first, typical of an English performance in the World Cup, but a great second half. I thought we enjoyed that. And well done, USA. Yeah, and who doesn't like women carrying their own height and bread? You can see that in Tamar in the summer of 2023. I recommend. They may even already be fully booked, but that hotel, the Templarios Hotel in the center of Tamar, is great and will be a superb vantage point or pied-à-terre for you if you're going to that particular event. Ciao, Emma. Superb. Muito obrigado, Emma from France as well in South Africa. Well done. And thank you, Robin, for joining us. Extra points to you for joining us from Melbourne, Australia this morning. Okay, let's have a look at that 2-minute taster from Dougie. And we'll probably go out with that this morning. Yes, I was bright red. It was when Ian conjured up images of us all reggae dancing in the shower, not together necessarily, but that was quite the image that suddenly came to both mind of me and Emma, I think, this morning. Great to see you, Uncle Krusty, this morning. Thank you for being here. Colin as well, thanks for popping in. Rebel Mama, I didn't get a chance to say hi to Rebel Mama, who's had a few problems with her electricity, I think, going on and off. I hope you managed to see and hear much of the music this morning. Oh, and my Westie that you see in this picture now that I'm going to share again. What is your Westie? Oh, her name was, not this particular dog in this picture then, I don't think. But anyway, that is a Westie, isn't it? My Westie lived in Scotland in a previous life. Her name was Lady, and she was on a big estate and now snow to play in. Rebel Mama thinks southern US, surely not. And don't call me Shirley there. What else did I miss this morning? We may never find out. Okay, Rebel Mama talking about her Oh, I see. Cousins and Ian Turner, John and Vangelis, not Donna Summer. Point of order, Chair, coming in there. Wasn't it all three of them, though? John and Vangelis and Donna Summer singing the vocal on that. Maybe that puts lead in your pencil as well, that tune. That could be the theme tune of the fourth turning there. Donna Summer, State of Independence. Thank you, Will, for dropping in this morning as well. Loved Edinburgh, says Victoria. Royal Cafe, Castle, Harris, Tweed, Kashmir. Awesome. All the lovely things. And Frank, bon dia. Very good energy to today's show. Thank you very much for that production note. There, Frank. Oh, and are you going to Edinburgh in March? Oh, yes. Excellent. Nice one, Rebel Mama. Thank you for dropping in this morning. 8:20. Not too bad then. When it's in the evening, so not too crazy for Robin Fisher to be tuning in. Okay, so that's good. It's the Americans that will struggle to join the Good Morning Portugal show, of course, when it's the middle of the morning. And they just join us for the wee small hours in every sense of the word. Are you there, John or Pam, this morning? As a young teenager, I practiced piano 2 hours daily. When you love it, it's not boring. You play because you lose yourself in it, even the repetition. It's the getting started, though, as Coach Turner, I'm sure, would remind us. It's getting the trainers on, isn't it? Sometimes you don't always feel like it, but by the time you get back, you're glad you've done it for a little walk around the block for a pastel donata and a cup of coffee. Guitar is an amazing instrument. You can learn 3 or 4 chords in a day, a couple of songs in a week, and the rest of your life perfecting it. What a lovely way to look at it there. Fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Oh, look, it's raining as a weather report from Pombal. Bom dia, Agria Toros, por Pombal, Chuva. See you at the meetup. I think it may well be raining in San Martino de Porto as well, but at the Palmeira Cafe, the newly painted Palmeira Cafe, it will be dry under the awning there, and I'm sure it will be great to be back in the company of Nelson, our host, Nelson, again. Before I do share that 2-minute taster, I've got a lovely website to share with you. Talking of things Scottish, what about the nicest McDonald's in the world? Yes, I know MC Donald's isn't really Scottish, but it's a Scottish name, I'll have you know. This is a fantastic blog that I'm sad to say I didn't know about until just a couple of days ago. This is Jeff, who joins us from time to time. He's in Porto, of course. And in his wonderful ohmyportugal.com blog here, we see McDonald's Imperial, the nicest McDonald's in the world. Whether or not you like McDonald's, I'm sure you can agree that that is one of the finest McDonald's restaurants you'll find anywhere in the world. That's typically Portuense, isn't it? Tripacharia there. Mackie D's in a Portuguese style, regarded by many to be the nicest McDonald's in the world. If you don't like McDonald's, don't let that put you off the wonderful Oh My Portugal blog. And I'll make a link to that from our news page because I think it warrants it. People and places, galleries, all sorts of wonderful things, including a little bit of a pushback when it comes. Oh, lots of videos as well. I think it'll be quite Porto-esque, Porto-centric, but nothing wrong with that. And tales of a successful CEF appointment there on the November the 13th. So lots to look at on Jeff's fantastic blog, ohmyportugal.com, and I will link to that from our website as well. Thank you, Jeff. And a lovely bit of a pushback. There's a little bit of meetup banter going on between the folks in Lisbon and the folks in Porto. You can see that there as well on the Oh My Portugal blog. Okay, let's finish off with a bit of a 2-minute taster. And who doesn't like a 2-minute taster first thing in the morning? Of all the lovely pictures that were sent in this morning, I'm going to have to carry some over. Somewhat overwhelmed in a good way by the beautiful images that have come in, and many of those will make it to the Gumper Gallery as well. Thank you, everybody, for sending in your pictures. Martin especially, and Jojo for those lovely pictures from the Serra de Estrela. But all of those that came in this morning, I'll make sure we see those tomorrow when we have our LGBTQ special with Fabrizio, Fab for short, and Ian. And of course, looking forward to Friday as well. We've got Jenny B, the return of Jenny B on Friday as well. We'll have a feel-good Friday for sure in the company of that Rainbow Guardian from Central Portugal, Jenny B. But over to you now, Dougie, for a 2-minute taster. And thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in this morning. And thanks especially to Emma. Fantastic job. Thank you, Emma. Bye for now, everybody. See you tomorrow. Ciao, ciao.
Good morning, Portugal, and it's a jolly fine morning right here in the Algarve. Time for one of our 2-minute tasters. And here's a sunset with a difference.